Hello, YouTube. So, I guess this section is going to be called Is It Worth Your Time? And we'll discuss if any of the games we play here on the channel are actually worth your time and investing time into them. So, it's an easy premise. I know there are many channels out there, super good ones actually, with Is it worth a buy? Is it worth, is it worth your money? It's all about time here. So, first of all, let's comment on the game, right? What do we have here? Curse of the Dead Gods is a game about a guy that gets stuck in a temple, and since we're here, let's ascend it. I mean, we're stuck anyway. So you go through rooms, you kill mobs, you beat the rooms, you get to the final boss, you beat the boss, rinse and repeat. That's the the core idea you're getting. What are the specifics of the game? What are the mechanics you have? And here I will start playing the game so you see what I'm talking about. First thing is light versus dark. It's the sign I had here. This is when you choose the boss. Very minor spoilers. Don't worry, you will not get spoiled here. We will not even get to the boss during my review. So yeah, these are the rooms. They're connected. If you choose one, the others disappear. Very easy to understand. 7 rooms. They're just enough. You will feel that it's a very good, healthy quantity. They're all different. That's fine. What else? Light and dark mechanics, more damage in the dark, less damage in the light. There are many weapons that deal more damage in the dark, like it's a suffix that you get, and it feels very rewarding, so that's super good. The stats are very easy to understand. Constitution, damage, like this is health, damage, magic find, basically luck. Doesn't affect your crit damage though, so take that into account, like crit chance, sorry. The weapon pool is very good. I'm playing with a claw here. Claws are amazing in this game. I really like them. But there are daggers, there are bows, shields. The shields, I think, are the worst. Like, you have to bash with your shield, but if you can't really defend with your shield, which is what you would expect. So it's the worst one represented to me. But still, all of the weapons feel good. They don't feel clunky. So that's that, right? Let me just go through it. So the last mechanic I'm going to talk about is curses, obviously. If you get corruption anytime you cross a door, usually 20 corruption. Once you get to 100, you get a curse. And each curse can be relatively detrimental. They're all okay. They're usually double-edged swords that say, okay, do you know the mechanic? Oh, you do. Get rewarded. You don't. Get punished. And that's good. Mostly it's risk versus reward, which makes you feel great about the game. And it's tons of fun. Spoilers ahead. Skip if you don't want to hear it, like 1 minute ahead. The final curse, what it does, basically the fifth one, it's super detrimental. At least the ones I've seen. One, for example, basically breaks your run by saying, you will lose HP until you get 1 HP. And if you get 1 HP in this game, if you're at 1 HP in this game, you're dead. Because you will get hit at some point. If you don't, become a speedrunner because you're very good at this sort of game and you can make a career out of it. Okay. But most of the time, for an average player like myself, it will feel very detrimental and very unfair. But that's the risk. Like you should manage your corruption. That's why it exists. Like that's why it's so detrimental. So I feel it's still fair at this point. The last thing I want to talk about is there are permanent upgrades in the game. So the permanent upgrades work the same way as for the king. You get the upgrades, but they appear randomly during your run. So it's not that you can choose your weapon, for example. Now, to compare it to... Yeah, before we compare it, there's one thing I really didn't like at the start of the game, and it is how they made boss repetition. I know you should expect boss repetition in a roguelike game. That's good, I'm fine with that. I've played tons of them. What I didn't like is when I got to the first boss, they made me exit the boss and get to the lobby. and they didn't give me a chance to continue my run. That felt super bad. I feel that if you get through the first boss, you should be able to continue. I hope they patch it at some point, because why not? I would rather die during the second part of the temple without even getting to the second boss than not have a chance to try. So that's the only thing I really didn't like. Let's continue. So what we have here is comparison, right? What is it similar to? Most people say Hades. I still haven't played Hades. It's a game that we have. You know, we will have to play here. I will do a playthrough. But for now, I can't compare it. And I have played Moonlighter. I have played Heroes of Hammerwatch, Diablo, Path of Exile, Hollow Knight, just to mention some relevant games here. And I don't know, like this one has its shine, but it also does much worse in some aspects. What do I mean? For example, Hollow Knight, right? With Hollow Knight, anytime you have to die tons of times through the run, you still feel rewarded. There is this thing, the thread of hope that you know that you will pursue and get a reward at the end. Doesn't happen here. The reward here is to get to the next boss and see the next boss. Don't expect anything else. Then, by the way, very minor spoiler, but all of the bosses have relatively secret mechanics where if you kill them in some specific way, you will get a specific weapon and you can unlock that weapon. So maybe that's a huge reward to you. Doesn't feel like a big reward. Like, oh my god, okay, doesn't feel like a good enough reward for me. I wouldn't do it. Then, it's also comparable to, and you can say that it's not, but Dark Souls, because you are going to die a lot. Any single monster feels super punishing when you don't know the mechanics. But guess what? Same thing as Hollow Knight. Dark Souls just does it better. Why? Because you still have this tiny reward at the end of the run where you unlock a new path, you unlock a new weapon. Anytime you beat a boss, you feel rewarded in both of those games. And I know I'm being very unfair because this is a roguelike and those are, it's more of an RPG. In the case of Dark Souls, it's more, same thing for Hollow Knight even. But I don't care. It's my time. I'm talking about the games I've enjoyed and I want people to know what to expect. So if you enjoyed Dark Souls, if you enjoyed Hollow Knight, and you joined the because of the reward element at the end of the run, it's not here. With that in mind, let's summarize it super fast for you. If you just want a game to go through, to challenge yourself, to have fun, without expecting any reward, without expecting increasing rewards, is what I want to say. Good. Get it. It's a good game. It's very polished. It's super nice. You will have fun with it. I've played 40 hours. I've enjoyed it a lot. And I haven't even beat the entire game. Like, I've beat what the last boss would be, but there's endgame content. And that's as far as I want to spoil it. Now, if you want to stay, I'm going to spoil a little bit more. The end content is that you can continue the runs, but take in 50% more damage. That to me was a very bad move from the developers. I expected more. If I'm going to replay your game and spend more time in your game without any sort of reward and without any sort of new mechanic to it, an average player is just going to abandon it there. They've had their fun. It was okay, but it's not worth it because all they did was to slap an increase in attack speed to the monsters and increase their damage. Wow. Fun. No, it's not. Like, I'm sorry, no, it's not. If you want to play the first hours of the game, enjoy it. It's still fine. Like, it's 20 euros. It's a very good price tag for what they're offering you, even if you don't like the end game. But just so you know, the end game is not for you. If you don't want the just slap more damage onto it, and it's fine. Like, that's okay. I really do hope they will polish it somehow. I really hope they will do something like Heroes of Hammerwatch, where they had the slap more damage onto it, but you will get more drops. Or, but you will get a guaranteed weapon of choice. Or, give me something. Give me something to play with. Give me something to, I don't know. Like, for example, in my case, I like claws. I don't care about the other weapons. I want to try different runs with different claws. Give me the choice to get more damage dealt to me, and have a claw. I'm fine with that. Like, that would make me replay the game much more. And without further ado, I don't want to waste your time at this point, so you like what I said, go get it, have fun, the game is polished, the attacks of the bosses are telegraphed, the weapons don't feel clunky, it's a good roguelike. If you feel very discouraged by the fact that there is no reward at the end of the tunnel, maybe it's not for you, maybe watch some gameplay before you do that, before you commit to it, but still, totally worth the buy, totally worth your time, and especially if it's on discount. So go get it, go have fun, curse of the dead gods, don't curse on the god too much, okay? Listen to your parents, no cursing, have fun, okay? Subscribe if you want, bye bye, people.